Good morning. How was your weekend? How was your Saturday, your Sunday? Good morning, Tiffany. I'm so glad you're here today. It's going to be a great day. Today is the day that the Lord has made. It's going to be a great Monday. And today we can just, for me anyway, I can relax a little bit and we can enjoy this devotional this morning. And so today is day 18 in our Ready, Set, Glow devotional. So if you have that, you can turn to day 18. And the title is Move with Purpose. Good morning, Valencia. So we're going to talk about move with purpose. You know, it's funny because I didn't even correlate the two, but yesterday, if you were at Revolution Church, we were talking about go, G-O, and that is to move, go do something, you know. So it's kind of neat that it was right after that particular message. So the verse of the day today is 1 Timothy 4:8, and that says, "For bodily exercise profits little, but godliness is profitable for all things, having promise of the life that now is and of that which is to come." Now, you know, if it had said bodily exercise is no good, don't do it, then we wouldn't even think about it, right? But it profits little in comparison to what the spiritual is going to profit. So the spirit is a lot more important, of course, but our body is what gets us around on this earth. Our body is what allows us to live here, and it also will determine how long we get to live on this earth. If we take care of our body, it's going to give us a much better chance of living here a long time, being able to do what the Lord wants us to do. That's what our body is for, to actually house us here on the earth and house the Lord in our temple and be able to do His work. Good morning, Nisi. We're so glad you're here this morning. We're talking about movement, move with a purpose. So don't just move for no reason, move with a purpose. That is spirit, soul, and body, actually. So we're going to talk about the body for just a minute, and then we're going to probably go into some other things. So if you look at the devotion part, it says, movement strengthens your body and releases endorphins that brighten your mood and your soul. Walking, dancing, stretching, or any form of exercise can be worship when done with the right heart, when done with the right motives. Any of those things. God gave us joints for a reason, because they bend and they move, and it helps us to do the things that we need to do. But we've got to keep those joints mobile, okay? If you, like we said earlier in another day, if you don't move it, you lose it. So you got to keep moving things. You got to keep things, get up and stretch in the morning. Do things that's going to help you get your blood circulation, your lymphatic system going. You want to keep all that moving. So there's a saying, move it or lose it, which is very true, because movement is like lubrication to your joints. Keep moving for Jesus. Keep things going. So I want to ask y'all, what are some of your favorite forms of exercise? Or what are some of your favorite forms of movement? What do you do to keep your body going? Because if we don't move it, we lose it. So we want to make sure that we keep it mobile, keep it going. Things get stiff and tight if you let them sit. That's with anything in life, If you don't move even something, I don't even know, I can't even think of an example, but there are examples of things that if you don't move them for a while, it gets harder to use those things. So same thing with our body. If we just stay stiff all the time, it's not gonna move as easily as it would before. Good morning, Stacy. So if you can put some of those things in the comments, things or ways that you like to exercise, it might be something that could help somebody else to see that there are other ways to exercise. That just recently, one of the things that I started doing, good morning, Paige, is there's a song that we sing at church, and you've probably heard this song if you listen to the Christian radio, but it's Goodbye Yesterday. That's a perfect song for a particular exercise, and basically it's like you're doing lunges to the right and lunges to the left, and you're basically bringing your arms up as you do it. So it's like when you bring your arms up way over your head, and then you kind of move your right leg over that way, and then you come back, arms over your head, and then this way. But if you do that, I promise you, if you turn that song on it's a 5-minute song, I believe. If you turn that song on and just do that movement, you will feel it the next day, and you've got your blood pumping and everything. I had read something about if you do that 5 minutes a day, it will help you lose weight. And I thought, wow, that's doable. 5 minutes a day is doable. So I thought if there's days that I need just 5 minutes, then I'm going to use that one, Somebody said swimming, chair exercises, walking and stretching. Somebody said dancing. So that's kind of like a form of dancing, I guess. But, if you just move a little, you're going to start creating movement in your joints, the blood flowing. And, blood flow is really key to keeping pain away. So if you have pain, I know sometimes it hurts, but there was one time I had a frozen shoulder, and I don't really know how that came to be. Maybe I wasn't stretching my arms up enough, and I know they said it could be from carrying a heavy pocketbook or from carrying a heavy grandbaby, which I've had some heavy grandbabies too. So whatever the case was, it got my shoulder frozen up. But the only way to get that thing released without surgery was to move it, So I had to go somewhere for a while for them to help me move it, because it was hard for me to even think about moving it. And I thought, there's no way, but you have to move it in order to keep it going. And then last night we watched this movie. It was based on a true story, and it was about a little boy that played with gas and matches, and it exploded, and he burnt almost all of his body. I think they said 100% of his body. But so he ended up in bandages, and the thing they kept telling him is, we still got to move it, and it was going to hurt. But he wasn't expected to live, but he made it through. He made the decision in his mind he was going to do it, and he stuck with it, and he lived. But they told him he's going to have to move it, every day to get it to not get stiff and stiffen up, and where he wouldn't be able to walk. So movement is very important. We've got to move it. But God values your physical strength, but even more, he delights in your intention to care for your body as your temple, right? Or as the temple that he is in, as part of your spiritual journey. So while we're here on the earth, we have a short time, but we want to make sure that in that short time that we live the best life that we can live, and that we are glorifying him even in our body, because our body is his temple. So we want to make sure we take care of it by moving our body every day. And then the other thing that we can do, as well as the things that we talked about previously in this particular week, which was not just movement, but the things that we put in our body, the nutrition that we put in our body. Make sure we're putting in things that are actually nutritious and not just feeding our body just a bunch of stuff, And then the other one was that our body is our temple, and we just need to take care of it so that we have a good source, a good earth suit that we live in here on the earth to do the things that he would have us to do, because each of us was born, given a purpose, given a calling on our lives. So we need to all be able to walk in that and walk in it in a healthy state. You're going to feel better as you do the things you do if you're taking care of your body, putting good things in it, and also moving that body. So let's look here. Move today in gratitude for the body God gave you. So we should be thankful for the body that God gave us. And as we are thankful, we move it. We get to be thankful because we can move. If you think about somebody that can't move, and you look at yourself and you can move, you become a little bit more thankful. But sometimes it's like we are not thankful until we see a situation that makes us thankful. So just purposely and intentionally be thankful for the body that God gave you and the parts that are moving well, and then start moving the other parts so that they can move well also. And we can just have a great body from head to toe that moves with everything that it can. Drink plenty of water. Water actually helps to lubricate the body as well. So this is just your daily reminder. I know we all know these things, but I was kind of a little bit disappointed in this part of the book. And I know spirit, soul, and body, we're all three parts beings. We're all spirit. Our spirit and our soul lives inside of our body. And that is what helps us to live here on the earth. We cannot be here without a body. So we need to be thankful for the body that God gave us. And we need to be thankful enough that we take care of it. You know, if somebody gave us a car and that car was just basically given to you, it didn't cost you anything, you would need to be thankful and grateful and take care of that car. If somebody gave you a car and you didn't take care of it, they probably wouldn't want to, you know, help you anymore. They probably would see that you're not really taking care of the one thing that they gave you. So be thankful for the thing that God did give us, our bodies, and let's take care of it. Do what we have to do. We all know what we need to do. It's just reminders to help us think that way. So if you have things in your life that you do to take care of your body, go ahead and put it on the chat because it does help other people. Some people put different things that they do. Stretching is really good. You know, stretching and taking deep breaths, it all helps. I had a holistic doctor come to my store one time to talk to a group of people, and he recommended a doTERRA. I don't know why he said doTERRA, but he said doTERRA peppermint essential oil. And he said every morning, he said these are some of the what things he tells people to do to take care of their bodies. He said every morning, put you some doTERRA peppermint oil on your hand, rub it in, and then put it over your face. And he said to breathe in with your mouth, like inside your mouth, not just in your nose, but in your mouth as well. And he said do that and hold it, you know, and then breathe it out, and then do it for 3 times every morning, and it will help oxygenate your lungs. It will help you to breathe better. It will just help you to be stronger physically. So I have done that before, but this is my reminder to start doing that again, because I did notice when I did it, it did make you feel better. It made you feel more awake, more alive, but you want to make sure you do it with a clean, pure essential oil, not just any oil that you buy at any particular store, but make sure it's a clean, quality type of essential oil. And then the Glow Truth is purposeful movement nurtures your body and your soul. So as you move, that can also affect your soul, your emotions, your mind, because if you notice anybody that just lays around all the time, they don't do anything, they're probably not as vibrant as the person that's getting up and exercises every morning. So I'm going to talk about a few things here. Moving your body helps you to get healthy because it's going to strengthen your heart, your lungs, and your muscles. So if you have a little rebounder or you have a trampoline outside, I know it's cold right now, winter months, but put something warm on and just go out there and rebound for 5 to 10 minutes. You know, that just gets your lymphatic system movement. It can help you in weight loss if that needs to happen. But the main thing it does is it gets that lymphatic system from being clogged up. So that can help with your immune system. It can also help with weight loss and just getting that circulation going. It's going to help with your heart too and your lungs, because you're going to be breathing a little bit harder. Your heart's going to be beating a little bit more. But it helps to balance your mood and reduce your stress when you move more. It improves your brain function and your energy, reduces the risk of many chronic diseases, and it keeps your body mobile and pain-free. So the more you move, the less pain you're going to have. Don't think by sitting still. Now, there's the occasional time where you might sprain your ankle or do something where you do need to let something rest for a while. But long term, you need to be moving. Movement doesn't have to be intense. Even small actions like stretching, walking, light dancing. The key is consistency. Do something every day. So just say you're starting a workout program and you're going to walk around your neighborhood, or you're going to walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes to an hour every day. Well, then you have one day that comes up and you just don't have the time, you know, to do that. You got to hurry up and get out the door, and you got a full day ahead of you. So maybe that day, if you notice you're fixing to get in bed, think mentally your checklist. Did I exercise today? Did I drink enough water? You know, try to catch up on some of those things if you can. And if you don't have time to do anything else but to stretch before you go to bed, that would be one good form of movement. Stretch and breathe. So there's so many reasons to move our bodies. And one of them is it can improve your heart and lung health. So activities like walking, dancing, or cycling. Some people like to ride a bicycle, or they have those, I don't know what you call them, the little bicycles that you sit on and ride inside the house. But it makes your heart beat faster, so it's going to strengthen your heart muscle, improve the circulation, increase your lung capacity, and lowers the risk of heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure. You know, you'll never realize how much that lung capacity being strong is until you're in a situation where you need it. And I was in a situation where I needed it, you know, when I was going through something in the hospital, and they make you blow through this little thing. And if you can't get that, I don't know what it's called, but if you can't get that little ball that's in there up a certain level, they're not going to let you go home till you can actually get that going. And then they let you take that home for an exercise, because we've got to have strong lungs. We've got to keep every single part of our body strong. The parts that we can't see, you know, the Bible even talks about the parts of the body that you can't see are sometimes more important than the ones that you can see. So you look at your cheek and you think, you want to make sure, you know, you're so concerned about your cheeks or your face, or you want it to look decent, you know, for people to see. But what about the inside of you? What does your heart look like physically, and what does it look like emotionally and spiritually? All these things are important on the inside just as well as they are on the outside. So another thing it does is it boosts brain function and mental health. When you move, movement increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain. It reduces stress and anxiety. So if you're dealing with stress and anxiety, move, move, move. It also releases endorphins that actually make you feel good. So it's going to help you to have a better mood if you exercise. You might not have a good mood while you're exercising, but after you get done, it's going to help you have a better mood, especially when you incorporate it into your daily activities. It improves memory and focus. It lowers the risk of depression, and it enhances sleep quality. You know, some people have trouble sleeping, so sometimes I'll be like, well, what are you doing during the daytime? You know, are you doing anything that's going to make you get tired? And then some people have trouble, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, some people have trouble, they have trouble with getting energy. They don't have enough energy in the day. So then my question is, well, how are you sleeping? So it's like a big cycle of things. If you're not doing enough in the daytime, you might not feel sleepy enough to get a good night's sleep. Well, then when you wake up the next morning, you don't have enough energy to even do anything. So it's like a cycle that keeps revolving around. So we've got to make sure that we're getting enough sleep. We're doing something, moving, getting things done in the daytime, so that we're moving our body and getting our bodies ready for a good night's sleep. Because we talked about how sleep is very important too. And then number 3, helps manage your weight. I know every woman wants to hear about that. We want to help manage our weight. So physical activity burns calories and builds muscles. I heard somebody say one time that they turned down this delicious dessert because they said, no, if I eat that, I'm going to have to walk this many minutes on the treadmill, or the stepper is what they were doing. And they knew that, I guess they kind of had a pattern down that if they ate that, they were going to have to do this to actually burn the calories for that. So that will make you think twice about what we put in our mouth. So it helps to prevent weight gain, supports healthy metabolism, and helps regulate appetite. Improves body composition, more muscle and less fat. And number 4, it's going to strengthen our muscles and our bones. When we move and we exercise, it helps to strengthen our muscles and our bones. And these are things that as we get older, it's important to start taking care of these things when you're around 30. But as you get older, these things kind of start getting a little bit less strong. So we need to make sure that we're doing the things to keep them strong. So resistance and impact activities stimulate growth in the muscles and growth in the bones. So build stronger bones. If we want to do things like lift some weights, you know, if you're over 40, you definitely want to try to get some weights. And I'm talking to myself too, but I try to get some weights because that is what helps to strengthen your bones. Get you, even if they're light weights, just do something. Start somewhere. increase bone density whenever you do weightlifting as well, or resistant training. When you have those bands, you know, that you can pull on, whenever you're doing something like that, that's going to help your bones. It's going to help your muscles. It's going to reduce your risk of osteoporosis, and it's going to help improve balance and stability so that you are steady on your feet and you're not going to fall, you know, because falling can cause injuries. So we want to make sure that we're strong enough to keep ourselves balanced and be able to walk without falling as we get older. Some people just have a mechanism in them. I don't know, they call them that they're clumsy or whatever. But so I think probably part of that would be just probably keeping your eyes on where you're walking, what you're doing, being more intentional about where you are and the things that you're around. That would cause less injuries too. If we're, you know, if we're looking where our feet are going and we're not going to step off of a step that don't know is there. We're going to step on a toy that we don't know is there. All these things can help. Just to be aware of your surroundings too. And then the metabolic and immune health is another thing that movement will help. So why move is because activity helps your body use nutrients more effectively. So as we put the good nutritious food into our body and then we move, it's going to help us to use those nutrients better. It will improve blood sugar control, lowers the risk of diabetes, which is a very common thing in the United States of America. And then it reduces inflammation and it strengthens the immune system. So inflammation is a key thing. If you have a lot of inflammation in your body, you can do movement to help get that inflammation down. Now, if you're doing too hard movements for your body too soon, it could probably cause some inflammation in your body. So make sure you do what your body is able to do. If you need to start with stretching, if you need to start with walking, do the things that you feel like are not going to cause your body to get inflammation. And then also, if you have a high amount of inflammation, I feel like I'm doing commercials, but I'm not doing this for that reason. I'm just doing it to give people information. But even there's an item out there called Curamed, and they have high doses of turmeric or curcumin in it that helps to fight down inflammation. And I've seen a lot of people help down inflammation that has been pertained to really harsh diseases. I'm not going to say the words, but y'all probably know one of the ones. Excuse me. It starts with a C, but it has even helped situations like that historically, and I've seen it with my own eyes help people with those situations, just getting that inflammation down and taking those high doses to help get the inflammation down. So if you need help getting inflammation down in your body so that you can exercise, you can get the pain down in your body so that you can move easier, it would be a smart thing to do. So not only does it do that, it helps with stiffness, chronic pain, helps to improve your posture, especially if you're doing the stretches and the breathing and stuff. And then it can keep your body functional as we age. But not only the turmeric, I did want to say something about another thing is moringa. And this is something we've just recently started carrying of a particular brand in our store. We've had some other brands, and they're good as well, but people get their mind stuck on the one that they heard from TikTok or whatever. So, but then we got the particular brand, and it is good. It's full of nutrition. So if you're having trouble even keeping the amount of nutrition going in your body to fuel your body, I would take a supplement, something that will help you, give you the things that you need so that you can continue doing the things that you need to do. If our body's not getting enough nutrition, nothing's going to work as it should. And then it boosts mood and energy, increases energy levels, overall mood, stress, enhances confidence and self-esteem. So when we're exercising, we're actually helping our confidence and our self-esteem. And we already talked about the other things, like the healthy habits. Okay, we didn't talk about this. So it also builds healthy habits and social connection. So when you have your activities that involve around groups, you know, there's other ways to exercise besides just strictly exercise, like push-ups and sit-ups and jumping jacks and walking on the treadmill, or walking around or running on the track, whatever those are. There's other ways to do it with a group, and these are going to help you socially, mentally, all types of ways. So I have a son who loves to play disc golf. Now, he used to like to play golf too, and I think he still does that occasionally, but now he's into disc golf. And if you think about disc golf, it's going to move a little bit more of your body because you're going to be throwing the disc with your arms. You're going to be moving your arms. You're going to have to bend over and get your disc whenever they hit the ground, but and then you're going to be walking from one hole to the next hole. That's in golf as well. But the disc golf is something that he's enjoying right now, and that actually gets you out. Because usually you want to do it with a group, so that gets you out. It gets you around people, which is good for your mental and emotional health as well. So moving our body helps us to get healthy because it strengthens our heart, lungs, muscles, bones, and immune system. It balances our mood and reduces stress, improves brain function and energy, reduces the risk of many chronic diseases, and keeps your body mobile and pain-free. So movement doesn't have to be intense. Even small actions, stretching, walking, light dancing, the key is consistency. Do it every day. Even, like I said, if you couldn't get to it one day because you had such a busy schedule, just do some breathing or stretching at night. I wanted to also say, that, movement to our body is one thing, but movement to our spirit is another. Movement to our soul is another. So let's keep all parts of our body moving. How can we move our soul and our emotions? So, think on good things. So think on good things. The Bible says to not think about certain things, but think on good things. Think of things that make you happy. Think of things that make you loving. Think of things that make you feel like you want to be kind. So go ahead and get your mind thinking about good things. That's going to keep your mind moving. If a bad thought comes in your mind, make sure you replace it with a good one. Keep that moving in the right direction. So we know what to do with our body. We know what to do with our soul and our emotions, and then our spirit. Our spirit man lives inside of our body. And to me, that is the most important, because if we go back to the verse, for bodily exercise profits a little. That doesn't mean it's not good. It just means that it does profit a little in comparison. But godliness is profitable for all things, having promise of the life that it now is and that of which is to come. So we need to keep our spirit moving. The word for yesterday at our church was go. Go in confidence, go in obedience, and go in compassion. So God will be with us when we go. Listen to your spirit and do the things that the Lord is telling you to do. If it is to go and read your Bible, if He's telling you to get up out of that bed, go in here and pray. Go in here and read your Bible. Follow those still small voices. Sometimes we'll hear them and we will just ignore them. Sometimes we'll even hear them about our food, and you'll have a nudging in your heart, to not eat this particular thing. But sometimes we override it and we'll be like, oh, it'll be okay. I'm just going to eat it this one time, Now, we probably won't have that all the time, but if we're eating certain things all the time, we're probably going to get that nudge, and we need to obey what the Lord is telling us. And then also,